There can be different types of indicators for low self-esteem. And these are essentially based on the fact that the person feels like they have a lack of control with their learning, that it happens to them and they have no impact on how they learn. For example, if they do something well, they think it's good luck. And if they do something wrong, they internalize it because they think they are wrong. They see it as black and white. It's either 100% right or it's wrong. There's no in between. This type of thinking is called a fixed mindset. Other types of indicators for low self-esteem include being a perfectionist. And these types of dyslexics can put in a lot of time and effort to get their work up to a certain standard. Or they think because they can't make it perfect, then they just won't start it. Low self-esteem means they have a fear of taking risks or trying something new. They can have a dependence on other people for making decisions for them. And they may have a process of blaming others if things go wrong. They also have this fear of being ridiculed. So they're really sensitive to criticism or perceived criticism, or being made to look stupid or dumb. Frustration is another outcome that happens from this emotional impact, this learning stress. This frustration can come from a dyslexic sitting in the classroom, seeing the person next to them has already written a whole page of writing and they are still trying to get the first sentence down. The sense of frustration can also come from a lack of awareness around them. Someone may say to them to try harder. In my experience, I have never come across a child that hasn't wanted to learn to read and write. And if they could do it, they would. Dyslexics are already working as hard as they can with their brain in an environment that is not understanding of how their brain works. People may say to them, how come you don't know it this time and you knew it last time? Or you may have someone say to them, I've already told you this, I'm not telling you again. You should remember this. This can be particularly noticeable when they're having to ask for instructions because they haven't understood them. Why is it important that we know about this emotional impact, this learning stress, which becomes part of their dyslexic journey? Neil Mackay has stated this learning stress of frustration, low self-esteem, and heightened anxiety ends up being a bigger impact on a child's academic progress. He says up to 80% of the learning difference is this learning stress component. So it's important when we're thinking about how do we support the dyslexic students' academic progress in the classroom with their dyslexia. It's not just looking at what physical accommodations we can put in place, such as giving them visual clues with verbal information, etc. It's also thinking about how do I make it easier for their brain so that they can manage their anxiety and their frustration. And we're starting to help support their self-esteem. If we can help support and reduce the impact of learning stress, we will be working in this 80% of their difficulty. And therefore, we're going to see an improvement in their academic part of their learning. This means that classroom strategies for supporting dyslexics need to be holistic enough to cover this part as well. The three parts of the emotional impact or learning stress is low self-esteem, frustration, and heightened anxiety is the other one. And we're going to talk about that next.